This is The Warrior's Journey, a podcast designed to equip, inspire, and bridge the gap between military members, veterans, their families, and our communities. The Warrior's Journey is an interactive online community where warriors and their families can find resources and encouragement to navigate the unique challenges they face, and presents the message of faith as the path to finding wholeness in everyday life. For questions, resources, and to find ways to get involved, visit thewarriorsjourney.org.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Warrior's Journey podcast, and thanks so much for joining us here at the Warrior's Journey headquarters. I like to call it the World Galactic headquarters here in Springfield, Missouri. A little joke there. Yeah, we're pretty small here, but we're really honored to have always a special time with you, Tom. Tom Winkler. He is the head coach at MSU for the Ice Bears hockey team. And we have a very special relationship with them, and we're going to talk about that in the podcast. But we're going to engage today and talk about community and why that's so important. And, you know, some people wouldn't equate veteran service organization with Division I hockey team, right? So, I mean, that's pretty cool. And you can correct me on stuff that I may say as it relates to the program. But welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you. Great to be here. Really appreciate it.
Really excited about the things that have happened. I mean, you reached out to us a year ago, just a little history. I guess it was a little over a year ago now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And saying, hey, man, we love what you guys are doing here locally in town. And you'd heard some things that have been happening. And I think you've even had former military members on your team, you know, guys that have served. And we'll get into the weeds a little bit more. But you have a very rich military family history, which is fantastic. And so you said, we want to be able to work partnership, got together, figured out this amazing plan. You made it. We couldn't say no. It was fantastic. And then did this incredible Warrior Weekend last year and actually raised some pretty significant resources for us, which was such a blessing. Turned that back into program, and then we're wanting to add value back to MSU hockey. So, and I'll say Ice Bears. I like that.
Love it.
The Bears being the mascot. So welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. So why don't we get just a little bit about? Hey, let's know a little bit more about Tom. What's this all about? Our coach. Talk to us a little bit about your military engagement. You know, as a family, you personally, and then a little bit about your hockey history, and then we'll dive into what brings us to today, and then we'll talk more about our connection.
Absolutely. First off, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me, and our relationship is amazing, and what you guys do is just so incredible. What spurred this on is I've been fortunate to work with a lot of other junior hockey teams and pro hockey teams, and military appreciation weekends were always a huge thing. And again, you mentioned my family. There's between my father, my twin older brothers, and my older sister, I think there's like 99 years of military service.
Crazy.
My brothers were Navy. My father was Army, and my sister is Air Force.
Yay, got some Air Force guys in there.
And, you know, honestly, my brothers and sister growing up were role models to me, their commitment level, and same with my dad. So, you know, no, it's just, it's very special. And I think, you know, one of the things that's really important to me is that we show that respect, whether we're civilians or whether we're military veterans or not, that the appreciation that I saw it firsthand, the sacrifices that my brothers went through. They were both carrier pilots in the Navy. So my brother John was on the Nimitz for, I think he did 3 tours. My brother Jim was deployed multiple different places, and same with my sister. My sister Ann, they've been all over the world in hot spots and in peaceful time and all that. So just the fact of the sacrifices that they made and their commitment and their service to the country is unbelievable. And there's so many others that do that as well, as you know.
Yeah.
So it's always been very important to me to have some type of military appreciation weekend. And we did. We were lucky and fortunate enough to get referred to you guys regarding that weekend last year. And the more I delve in and meeting with you and talking with everybody here and what you guys did, it was just I can't put words to what you guys do and how important it is. And you know, you do so many things behind the scenes that people might not see, and that's where it's important for us as our organization to get you guys a platform and a front where you can be front and center, and people can see exactly what the Warrior's Journey does. And I learned a ton too. And I think one of our most memorable conversations when you explained what the invisible wounds were. And that's near and dear. And there's some personal things that you've helped us with that are incredible. So
I think that's important to mention too, that you're not just speaking from what you've heard other people say, and a lot we really aren't at liberty to even talk about details, but the fact that there's been some engagement where you came to me and said, "Hey, I've got a couple of things here. How could you help?" And so you've seen the Warriors journey in action,
absolutely,
which has been great. And of course we consider it an honor to be able to engage. But it's always, for me, it's always so cool when our partners see it firsthand.
Yes,
and then they can understand the depth and really the heart and passion behind our team. And so thanks so much for the honor. And
you guys are amazing. It's like I said, I love coming here just to visit. And that's,
we love to have you. It's great.
It's and obviously we want to continue. You guys obviously support us in so many ways, and our goal is every time I come in here, I always want to see what can we do from our end, promotional wise or visibility wise, that helps continue to get the word out there. Because as you've taught me, that as many people do step up and need help, there's a lot of people that don't. And it's kind of funny because, a lot of times when we're out promoting our program, people are like, "Oh, you have a hockey team?" We've been here for 24 years. This is our 24th season. So Missouri State Ice Hockey is certainly out there and in the community, and so are you guys. But there's still that niche that doesn't know that, the more that we can do to help promote and get your guys' name out there and talk about what you guys do and the benefits and just the willingness. I think that's what's so awesome about you guys is doesn't matter what time, what time of day, what time of night. If there's a need, you're there. And, not only did we mention you've helped me personally, but you've helped our players, who certainly aren't in the situation that majority of your clientele are, but you still take the time to help those kids where they're dealing with issues and things that are troublesome for them. So
and let's just qualify, because we're talking about players that were military. And then cross over, and then some of them play hockey, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's interesting. You can pretty much make a pretty broad stroke across life, and there are going to be veterans that are going to be scattered out, even in college hockey. It's pretty amazing. So it's been fantastic, Tom, to be able to have the opportunity to pour into those individuals, and of course what you're doing with them too at a level, character building, the whole idea of discipline and hockey. I played I quote air quotes here, played hockey, on ponds when I was a kid. I'm from Michigan, so hockey was a big deal. Most people that aren't, if they live below a certain latitude, hockey's like, what is that? Isn't that kind of a sport with skating sticks? They don't really realize how crazy a sport that is. In fact, I'm kind of biased on this, but I think it takes the greatest amount of athletic skill sets, multiple skill sets to make that thing happen. It's just, hockey's a cool sport.
It is. It's the greatest game, and I've been very blessed and fortunate that I've been able to stay in it to this point in my life and support my family with it. It's a tremendous game. It's a tight knit community. We were talking before we got on the air about Max Soliday, he's a current Ranger, and he's currently abroad. He was supposed to be at training camp and help us out again this year, but things got extended for him. And Max is a former player of mine, and it's really a neat story with him where he played junior hockey for me in Hampton Roads. He's from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and his grandfather was a Ranger. His father was a Ranger. And when Max came to me, he's like, "Hey, just so you know, I'm going to play hockey till I'm 20, and then I'm going in the Army. That's what I'm going to do." And, Max was such an ultimate teammate, and he was not the most skilled hockey player I've ever coached, but he was a team guy. He understood his role. He excelled at his role. He held his teammates accountable. More importantly, he held himself accountable to where he could be in that leadership role. And we maintained a friendship with his family, his parents, and him as well after he was done playing. And he called me out of the blue one time, and he was just like, he's like, he goes, "I was sleeping in a sleeping bag, freezing cold, soaking wet, and I was thinking about hockey and all the lessons we went through and the things that you taught us as a team and what our team did." And he's like, there's a lot of similarities in the team building that goes on with the special forces and all those guys. And obviously we will never compare playing hockey to what the military people do.
No, but I get that. I think, and I know our military guys will get that too. There is a real blending of character building, experience of never quit, move forward. And that's the big thing with, Army Rangers or any special operations. I mean, it's like, it's more mental than it is even physical. Absolutely. Right. So you guys are dealing with that all the time.
And it's just the team building and obviously when you talk about the military, one person has to do his job and the next person has to do his job. And it's very similar in hockey. You're expecting your teammates to do their job. Yep. And if they don't, the machine falls apart. And, again, not making any comparisons at all, but, if we don't do our job on the ice, then we're going to lose, and so that's that togetherness and that team toughness and that commitment level and all that stuff is so key. And Max came in and worked with our guys last year and he put them through some Ranger workouts and did a really, really touching and excellent presentation about, what those guys go through and the ups and downs and the things that they see and they do. And, that it's important to me and obviously coming from a military family, I want these kids to have an appreciation for what you guys all do and sacrifice. And I think there's so many reasons and debatable topics, but it's been lost as time has gone by. And I think when people make the commitment to serve the country and do that there's just that we have to have that gratitude. We have to have that respect. It's like I joke with the guys all the time, but I really don't mean it as a joke, but it's like because of people like Max and our military personnel that we get to do what we get to do and we can go to bed at night and not worry about anything. And I think I want our players to have such an appreciation for that they in turn show respect. And then they in turn eventually will show their families and their kids respect. And I just, it's so important. It just, to me, it's, we can't do enough, I guess is the bottom line.
Well, you've done a lot, Tom, and I tell you, I'm excited about even this next year. We're expanding our partnership moving forward, and thank you so much. I'll just say that we feel like we've gotten a lot of more value poured into us through Ice Bears hockey and through MSU than we feel like we give back. But we're hoping we can match that out later as time goes on.
No,
but
you guys are amazing.
Well, we would say the same thing. Now, what's interesting about I think the program there at Missouri State University, which is here in Springfield, its campus is here, and I think we may even have some auxiliary campuses, different places, and then there's virtual learning and all that stuff that's going on. But when you think about MSU being a Division I school, tell us about the program, because like you say, not many people know about the hockey program, and there's something very unique about the thing in sports, which when you told me, I said, what? It's like, so explain that to you know what I'm talking about. Because I'm thinking, well, that doesn't make sense. In fact, it kind of, wait a minute, it shouldn't be that way. How do we fix that, right? So, but talk about the uniqueness of hockey in this particular campus.
Yeah, and it's college hockey structured in two layers. You have NCAA programs, Division I and Division III, men's and women's programs, and those are fully funded by the school. At the Division I level, they offer athletic scholarships, financial support. The Division III level, the schools are funded. The programs are funded. There's not hockey scholarships per se at the Division III level. Mm-hmm. And then you have what's called the American Collegiate Hockey Association, the ACHA, which is what we are a part of, which is classified as a non-varsity program. So we're non-NCAA sanctioned. So we have a wonderful relationship with the university. We're very, very lucky that they appreciate us and they see what we do. And we walk the line. We follow all the NCAA rules that their student athletes do. So we have a very great working relationship with the university, but we are not funded by the university. We do get I'll call it a yearly stipend for being a part of club sports. But it's drop in the bucket.
It's nothing like the football team, the basketball team, the volleyball team, and all that kind of stuff. It's nothing like that at all. I just got back from a trip, and on the way out, we we actually shared the plane with the girls volleyball team from MSU. They were on their way somewhere on the East Coast to play for the weekend.
Nice.
And I was thinking about you, and I'm like, here they are, they're flying, and I'm sure it's like, yeah, I know Tom doesn't get you guys don't have that same level.
We have a little bit rougher travel. We we are self-funded, and that's the big difference with our hockey club.
Your kids have to pay to play.
Yep, they do. They pay a player's fee, and we do a really good job as far as sponsorships, partnerships, promotional things like that, to where we keep the fees significantly under what they should be.
Makes sense.
We try to keep it to where it's not breaking the bank for them, but it is a part. We do have to charge a fee. So we do heavily rely on our partners and sponsors and fundraising things, golf tournaments, which by the way, I have your last place prize with me.
Nice. It's so funny because you ask us, you're just like, hey, I want you guys just to be there, be present, man, just come in. And our team was like, we didn't expect to be a ringer, but kind of ashamed to say, yeah, we did take last. I guess in maybe one sense you could say that's a good thing. That we're actually working for a living. We're not out playing golf every day.
And you didn't cheat.
Yeah, we didn't cheat. We didn't cheat. We were actually very, very honest about it. We enjoyed it. And each of us, I think our whole team, I think everybody was a veteran except one of them was a sponsor guy that has been a big sponsor, and we're trying to get him kind of excited about maybe Ice Bears hockey too. So
yes, yeah. But those are the events that we do.
That's great
to help offset things. And again, we're, the community's been fantastic, and our guys, I give a lot of credit to our guys, is we do a ton of community service. We're very heavily involved with the youth hockey programs here.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Our Division III team is heavily involved with Special Olympics of Southwest Missouri. We're involved with Champions Committed to Kids, which is a unbelievable program. They work with special needs athletes, and they pair them up with their favorite sport. And we've had the privilege of having Dimitri Robertson with us for the last, I think this is his 6th year with us, and he's an honorary member of the team. And it's kind of funny, he comes to practice every Thursday, and he's got a laundry list of what I'm doing wrong and what we need to work on. So
that's awesome.
So we do a really good job of melding ourselves into the community. We go into schools, we read, we do whatever needs to be done. And
so cool.
And that's important to us too. And when you're involved with the youth hockey, those are the kids that come to your games, and the parents come to your games. So we really do have a community-based focus on what we do off the ice, and obviously then the product off the ice. And when our games are sold out, our kids play in such an amazing environment. We're just really spoiled. We have a lot of really good things happening here.
Well, I'll be honest, I was really shocked last year when part of me was like, I didn't know we had a team. I mean, I was one of those people, right? And now I'm telling everybody, hey, we got a really cool hockey. Like, no, I didn't know. Where do they play? And so that's always the question is there a ice rink here in Springfield? I said, well, as a matter of fact, there is. It's right there near the campus, and it's all. But just the hoops you have to go through to create this program. I want you to know, our first game, holy cow, I was thoroughly impressed. Packed out crowd. There is a fan base here. And then one of my questions to you was, hey, what do you think the possibility would ever be that MSU hockey actually becomes a sponsored sport? And I know that may not be a topic you want to talk about, but because I'm thinking, man, it should be. There's enough support here in town, and who knows, maybe someday that'll happen.
Yeah, it's right now, I think we all can agree that the NCAA is a little bit of a circus, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah.
And we're kind of watching to see what happens, and I think eventually at some point in time we'd like to start those discussions, but it really, I think for the NCAA, I think the next 3 to 5 years, they really got to sort out what direction they're going, and I think football is going to determine a lot of what happens, and then all the other secondary sports are going to, kind of have to, follow down from that. So, we're in such a great situation, and there's a lot of credit that has to go to Stan Melton and Kurt Busson, who started the program. Stan is actually being inducted into the Springfield Sports Hall of Fame in October for all of his work with the ice rink and MSU.
That's awesome.
Him and Kurt did a phenomenal job. And then Ryan Armstrong, who's been the GM for, gosh, he's been involved with the program, I think, for between playing, coaching, GMing. I talked him out of retirement of coaching. He's back on the bench with me this year.
That's awesome. I look forward to that.
Really excited about. And
how'd it go with your 2 exhibition games this weekend too?
They were good. Yeah. They were good. It's those are tough games for our guys. We play a junior team out of St. Louis that, again,
it's all preseason.
Yeah. Ryan and myself have a great relationship with that program, and they're really good games for us, necessary for us to get some competition before we start the season. And it's tough for our boys because their games we're expected to win. We should win. And, those kids come in and so much credit to them because the Junior Blues played fantastic. They really tested us and pushed us and challenged us. And, we saw some really good things and some learning, and, we've got 2 weeks to correct quite a few things, but
it gives you a good,
absolutely.
It's a good test petri dish kind of for you. And it's really not about winning, losing at that point. It's about feathering out what this is going to look like for the season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And working on line combinations and see who can play with who. And, it's kind of interesting because as a coach, you kind of take a step back and, you don't put a whole lot of structure. You just run the lines. You let the next line up go on the power play and penalty kill. And, you just kind of see what you have. And it is fun. It's, we've been going hard for about 2.5 weeks. So I think they really enjoyed beating up on somebody else instead of each other. And, again, it was amazing because going into the season when Ryan and I were talking about this with the tickets, do we put them in the season ticket package or do we just have a hockey day? And, with it being a holiday weekend, I mean, we had a great crowd Friday.
That's awesome.
I didn't know what to expect on Saturday and was blown away. It was a great crowd on Saturday again. It was really neat for those kids to experience it and see. And obviously there's a lot of alumni. Like I said, Ryan and myself are alumni of the Junior Blues program, and several of our players played there as well. So we've got a really good working relationship with them, and the guys that are in charge of it are ex-teammates of mine. So
that's great.
That always helps.
It does.
It helps, continue to build that relationship. And
sounds like it's a fostering environment. It's
absolutely.
It's an environment where you guys, it's a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. They're great guys, and they've really changed the culture around there with that program. So it's another good partnership for us.
That's great. Well, I will tell you that, kind of coming back, you already know what we're all about and our ongoing quest to just scale what we feel like. I just had a meeting this morning with one of our team members that's part of our big workflow, and we're really scaling up our one-to-one connection system where we connect battle buddies, and it's too detailed to talk about here on this platform, but super excited about the fact that in many ways we feel like we've cracked the nut when it comes to suicide prevention specifically. Now, I don't mean to say that we know everything about it or that we're experts in the field. That's not what I mean, because we feel like we have a long way to go. But we feel like we know that there is an element that not too many organizations in the past have talked about, or if any, in the past, really focusing on a holistic approach. So mind, body, soul, spirit. Those are the kind of the four major components that we're willing to cover all of those, and we do it in a customized fashion. So in many ways, it's been fun because I know that we've had this conversation before. You said, that's really great. Hey, by the way, for our players, can you maybe help me? And it's been really fun as you've referred some of these players to us too, that we've been able to maybe invest back, and we're hoping we can do more of that. But maybe, Tom, I think what distinguishes you as a coach from other coaches that we have engaged with here in our own community, and whether it's at the high school level, college level, even professional level, because we've even been involved with the PGA and some of these guys that have been, high level professional coaches, which we're working with a pretty high level professional coach on the PGA side, working with our Inspiring Warriors golf program. But I think what distinguishes the individuals that we've talked to is the fact that they really have a care for the person, that you're not just about having a winning what's the word, record,
season.
Yeah. That's important, right? Who doesn't want that? We all, that's a given, But what I love is I've watched you invest in these guys. And as I hear you talk, it's always about, man, I got this guy and he needs this and he needs this. And it's like these are your own kids, you're investing them back. So I don't know, maybe you want to talk about that just a little bit, and how you think we can maybe even, how do you see the Warriors journey even adding value down the road, if possible, maybe thinking outside the box?
Yeah. And that's the thing that's so cool about coaching is, and I say this all the time, that when I was younger and I first started, it was all about winning. It was how do you get to the next level?
Which it is for most people, right?
Yeah, and again, it comes with maturity. I mean, when I started, I was 23, 24, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to move up, keep moving up. And, there's certain things that happen during as you get older and you mature in your career that, and again, it took me a while to figure out, again, like I said, it was all about winning at the beginning. And then, I had kind of a crazy, unusual story that I was fortunate enough to make a college hockey team, Division III team in Vermont. And I lost that opportunity because of poor academics. And that was...
This is you personally.
This is me personally.
Yeah.
And it took many years, for me to accept that. And when I first had come home and failed and had to start all over again, it was very difficult to tell people what really happened. I was like, oh, I got hurt, and it was just deflecting,
sure.
Because I wasn't ready to face it. And there were several things that happened, that when I started coaching, and I had some great mentors. And at the end of the day, I finally realized that, I'm doing this not only because I love the game and I'm passionate about it. It's the greatest game in the world and all that, but I didn't want any of these kids that played for me to make the same mistake I did. And that's when I switched gears where, yes, winning and developing hockey players was important, but if they weren't good students and good people, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And as I moved up into junior hockey and into college hockey, and even when I was fortunate enough to work in single A pro hockey, the character side of things is more important than anything.
Yeah.
You can be a really, really good hockey player, but if you're shy on character and your academics aren't there, your opportunities are going to be limited.
Yeah, if you're an idiot or a jerk, then what's
exactly.
the point? Yeah. Sorry, just call a spade, right?
That's basically what it is. And that's when it kind of hit me. It's like, I don't want any of my players to make the same mistakes I did academically. And then around the same time, I was coaching high school, and at the end of a season banquet one year, a father came to me and he was very upset, visibly upset, and he wanted to talk to me. And I'm thinking, oh God, what's going on here? And I didn't bench your kid. I played your kid.
What expectation did I not meet?
Right.
Yeah.
And he just pulled me off to the side, and he was very, very upset. And he's like, listen, we need to thank you because my wife and I went through a very horrific divorce this year. And, our son had to go to court and testify against me and testify against her.
Oh,
and,
wow.
You were checking his grades and you were keeping him in line. And he's like, you probably saved our son because of everything we put him through.
Wow.
And I remember after that, I had to kind of go outside and kind of get my thoughts together. And that's when you're kind of like, this is bigger than the sport.
Yeah.
It's much bigger. What we coaches have the power to do in a positive way is amazing. And I think it's a tremendous responsibility. And my wife, God love her, is a teacher, and she goes through the same thing with her students. And I think, we're never going to be able to get that $69 million yacht and sail around the world, but
you and me both, brother.
There comes a point in time where it's like, when you realize what's important and what your purpose is and what your calling is, it's like, we have the potential to change these kids' lives and to be difference makers. And
you are doing it. And you're rich. You're rich. You're rich in opportunity, rich in engagement, rich in influence. And it's been fun to watch you, Tom, too, because
I appreciate it.
Well, you're the real deal, and I just love it. I love the rawness of your perspective and your straight shooter. I've loved watching you coach, and it's so funny.
It's a good thing there's no mics on the bench.
Yeah, it's so funny. I think maybe after your first game when I was there, I was like, that was really cool. He's like, yeah, man, I'm sorry. I probably wasn't, the greatest. I was like, no, you were great, man. That was awesome. It's what I expect.
Was that when I threw the water bottle and threw my shoulder out?
Yeah, right. And even I thought it was really cool how you were defending your kids. There was a couple of calls that were kind of if you remember that game where you didn't feel like the refs were being fair, and I kind of agreed. I mean, and there are those occasions, but I thought you were very measured, and it was good. So, all that goes into it, right? Because it's the example you play, and I think even to the point where a lot of these kids, I know that Matt was one of those. Have there been other students that have left the program and then ended up going in the military? Do you know of any others that have done that?
Yes, actually, there were quite a few kids in Hampton Roads that played there. It's a military community, as you well know.
Right.
But yeah, there were quite a few, and kind of getting it back. I mean, you talked to one of our guys last year, and I love telling this story because this is where I knew I was making headway with this kid, and he gets it. He gets it that he had a hard time reaching out to you. It took him a little while, and when I finally got him to, I sat him down and I'm like, why did this take you so long? And he just looks at me and he goes, Coach, they deal with so many more important things than me and my issues that I had a hard time calling them. And I'm just like, there's the perspective, there's the appreciation. But at the same time, it's like your issues are important too.
Right.
So you can't think that way. It's great that you have that perspective, but don't sell yourself short that you have the ability that you're important and your health and mental health is important to us. And as we all know, that's one thing, again, as coaches, we're constantly evolving and learning about is the mental side of the game. And it goes back to your initial question, it's to be a good coach, I constantly have to get better at learning people. You have to learn, I grew up in the generation where you will do this and you will do that. And if you don't, my head was slapped and face mask shook multiple times and it was well-deserved. I deserved it.
Yeah, get with the program or get out.
Now it's like you have to learn how these kids, and I do like the aspect of they always want to know why. Why are we doing this? And that's what I try to make them think about when we're practicing. It's like, okay, we're doing a drill, but how does this drill translate to a game? You know, and if I don't let you have your phones when we're eating a team meal, why are we doing that? Well, because most of you kids can't look somebody in the eye and shake their hand and talk to them.
Because they're thinking, well, because you don't want us to have fun and have our phones, right? It's like that's not really the issue. There's something deeper there.
Oh, and it's amazing to see the interaction, how it changes. And it's again, like I said, our job is 15% hockey, but the rest is personal development and life skills. And again, just we always like to say, have an attitude of gratitude.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know how good we have it. We don't know how spoiled we are. And again, I want the kids to appreciate that. It's, little things. We have our own locker room. You don't have to carry your bag home every day.
Yeah, right.
It's little things like that a lot of programs don't have.
Yeah.
So it comes down to really just taking a step back and being, life is pretty good. Even when we have a bad day, it's not a bad day.
That's so good. Yeah, I appreciate that. I remember you telling the guys that, hey, we may have a bad day, but remember there are guys that are deployed right now, and they might be willing to swap with you right now.
Oh yeah.
So it's all about perspective.
Yes.
So on that note, kind of as we wind down our conversation, but I do want to make sure we mention this because last year you did this great community weekend. You guys did special jerseys, and you highlighted what we did at the Warriors Journey. All the players they signed, you guys auctioned these jerseys. Those resources came back to program, and you're doing that again this year.
Yep.
Is there anything you want to mention about that? I did get to see the new jersey this year, which is pretty sick. It's pretty awesome.
They are pretty cool.
Yeah, they're amazing.
I'm a little biased. I thought last year's. I loved last year's jerseys. It's a great event, and again, this year it'll be November 1 and 2, so we're actually able to do it in Military Appreciation Month.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys, and like I said, we haven't done a public release of the uniforms yet, but all I'm going to say is, do you believe in miracles? If you believe in miracles, and you know what I'm talking about, you'll probably have an idea.
Yeah, and if you don't know what that means. Yeah,
you got a little research to do.
You'll figure it out. Just Google it.
Google. Do you believe in miracles?
I love it.
But no, and again, that's an event that to me is, I think last year you even came to me after and you said you had a couple people reach out to you the night at the game, and that's where, our ability to help you with the visibility and, just being seen and being there and having your staff there.
In fact, one of those guys, sorry to interrupt, but one of those guys was dealing with a suicidal ideation that was pretty serious. And, the fact that who would have thought, at a hockey game, hearing about who we were, giving me the opportunity to, which was pretty cool, the opportunity just to drop a puck, do a ceremonial thing, which was pretty cool. By the way, I've never been on a rink without skates. So there's a little bit of a challenge, walking out of there, but having that and then talking about what we do, and then that guy approached me and said, "Hey, here's who I am," and holy cow, you just don't know. So again, that platform's huge. We're excited about that. Thank you for making it more aware. But is there any maybe expectation for this year or ongoing that you hope that this will continue to do? ABCD. Is there any thoughts? And we haven't like prepped on this. I'm just kind of asking where your heart is on that.
Obviously it starts with 2 wins. We want to win both games that weekend.
There you go. Very good.
But I hope that, obviously your whole staff is there. I hope Max is able to come back. I'd really like to get my family there.
That'd be great.
I've been trying to get them to a military appreciation weekend for a long time. And, my dad's 90, so a little bit tougher for him to get around, but he's still ornery as if he was still a drill sergeant. So, again, it just comes down to, we want people in the building to see you guys, to hear what you do. Cause I think the big thing is, even when people leave the rink, they're like, man, that Warriors Journey, what an amazing program. You know what? My cousin was in the Army and maybe he knows somebody, or my nephew is serving. Yeah. Maybe he's, you know what I'm saying? It just, it's kind of interesting, because I think it just starts the conversation. Yeah. It starts the conversation. And quite honestly, on the personal level, that's what started it with us. And
you have such a grasp of that too, because you saw your family. You realize that the military does create unique challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I mentioned my immediate family, but my nephews are all in. 2 of them are submariners. Wow. One of them is going to be another pilot like his dad. I mean, it's just, the tradition is just,
it's rich.
Kind of, and then here I am. So, the hockey coach.
But you're fulfilling God's plan, man. It's all good.
No, it's like I said a million times, I've been blessed, and they've supported me.
That's great.
It's my brothers and sister and my dad, and obviously my wife and kids are my biggest fans. And, as you well know, you don't have anything without family.
That's right.
And the support is everything.
Well, it's a good segue, because I mean, one thing I want to do too is we want to be able to promote you. So, this podcast, we're going to be promoting this. Give us a little breakdown. Still tickets available, right? I mean, as far as if you're in the Springfield area, or if even anywhere in and around this area, maybe you live in Joplin, or maybe you live an hour outside of Springfield. Listen, this program is pretty cool. And I will tell you that the environment at the Ice Bears hockey games is pretty. I mean, it's so cool.
Awesome.
It really is cool. I've been part of KU. I have my oldest son went to University of Kansas, and he was part of the basketball program he played in the pep band, and we got tickets. I mean, that's a pretty cool environment.
Oh yeah,
and it's not quite that large, but I will tell you, it has that feel. Oh, and it's pretty cool.
I got, when I first came down here, they're like, you can watch it on video, but until you experience it, and I was asked many times last year, they're like, what do you think about the environment? And I summed it up this way. It's like, when we, as coaches, when we have to go to the bench, we have to walk through the Zamboni door around the back part of the rink to get to the bench. And when it's 10 to 12 people deep, and all of a sudden you hear, hey, here they come, get out of the way. The hair on the back of your neck stands up. It's just like, these people are here to watch these kids and watch this hockey team. Yeah. It's just, it's the coolest feeling. It's just,
and there's something about hockey where you can be a little bit more expression.
Rambunctious?
Yes, you can express yourself. And that's part of the game too. Yeah. It's pretty fun.
It's a shame that, and sometimes life isn't more like that. You just beat somebody up, you go sit for 5 minutes and you're good to go.
That's hilarious. So if people want to know more, they want to get tickets, what's the best way for them to find out about
MissouriStateHockey.com.
Okay. Say that again.
MissouriStateHockey.com.
Perfect. Okay.
Website. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, all that stuff.
We'll put a little link at the bottom of our deal here where they can check that out as well.
Absolutely. So. And Jordan Valley Ice Park, which is now Brightspeed Ice Park. The day of the game, general admission tickets are available.
And they're not expensive.
No, it's $5 for general admission, and season tickets and reserve seats are $10. I will say this: the season tickets, again, thank you so much to our unbelievable community, because there's not many season tickets left.
That's great.
It just goes back to we're so fortunate, we're so blessed. It's such an awesome environment.
Well, get them while you can, and I would really encourage you, if you're listening to or if you're watching, just please be a part of that if you can. You won't regret it. And in fact, to tell you what, I will make this commitment, on the air, okay? Because part of our engagement, you blessed us with some really cool tickets for every game. I would even be willing. We'll see if we have some tickets left over, because our staff loves to go, and we like to be able to give these to veterans too.
Absolutely.
But if you're a veteran and you're out there, you'd like to just experience it, give us a call, contact us via the website, or however, just contact our office, and maybe we'll just even invite you to come be with us, and you can experience it that way. So
have them reach out to me, Tom@MissouriStateHockey.com.
Okay, that sounds great. That sounds great. So one last question as we wrap up here, Tom. Thank you, because I want to be able to give you this platform, and I know that you'll appreciate this question. Because we do have a lot of people, active duty, a lot of veterans. Just from a person deeply involved with our community. We love having you in Springfield, but even thinking nationally or worldwide, what would be one thing you'd like to say to our troops? Those who are serving, or those veterans and their family members. What would be something you'd want to? A message, a personal message, because now you get a chance to say something specific. What would that be? Oh man, so many things. Number one, be safe. God bless you. Be safe. We love you. We appreciate you. We appreciate your families, your spouses that are here, taking care of everything while you're gone. And just come home. And again, there are so many people that really do appreciate and understand the sacrifice and commitment that you have, and there's no greater love for your country. And we love you, we support you, and we salute you for sure. That's great. I love that, because I know you wouldn't say just thank you for your service. That it's more than that. Absolutely. And thank you, man, and thanks for your willingness to share that too, because I know that there are going to be people out there that are going to be encouraged by that. And don't underestimate your influence that way. Even though you personally haven't served, you have served alongside, and as a military family member, you get it. And man, I so appreciate that too. So thanks, man. Look forward to a really cool year. And it's just getting started. Yep. We've got a lot of hockey ahead of us, and we're gonna hope and pray that this is not just successful from the character building side, which that's a given. I know it will be, but who knows? Maybe you guys will be on the top here and believing for a victory every game. And that's awesome. You know what? Before I get in trouble, I got to mention. Yes, please. My wife's father was in the Coast Guard too. Oh, very good. If I don't mention that, and her nephew was in the Air Force, so if I don't mention that, I'm going to get the nasty text here. That's awesome. And our Coasties are always they're like the redheaded stepchildren. Uncle Sam's Canoe Club. Yeah. We don't believe that. I tease my father-in-law with that all the time. That's hilarious. But it's a joke. I'm just teasing. Yeah, love you guys too. Yeah, because they work hard. Absolutely. And they do a lot for us too. So, man, thanks, Tom. We appreciate you. And let's have you back, and we'll talk about maybe an update after the season's over, or midway through, or however that works out. But we'll keep everybody up to date on this ongoing partnership. Really, you are one of our partners now that engages, and so it's just been really neat to see how that carries over. So thanks so much. We appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. You bet. Hey, thanks for joining us this week at the Warriors Journey, this podcast, and we'll look forward to pursuing the next topic for our next time together. So until that time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you for listening to the Warriors Journey podcast. Be sure to leave a review, and to ask questions, give, or get involved, visit TWJ.org today. The Warriors Journey. Warriors helping warriors heal invisible wounds.